for years and years, we've concentrated on the surgeries. And for years and years, we would do our screening activities, and we'd see, 500 people would show up. We're looking for the 10% that need surgeries, and we send the rest home. And we realized that after a while, we could probably provide them with glasses. Many of them just need glasses, and that's a life changer in and of itself. And if you need glasses, it's a big deal. And so, yeah, let's give them some glasses. So we got donated hundreds and hundreds of pairs of glasses, and many of them were from the 1950, 1960. But they were these old glasses, and we thought, this will be great. We'll bring it down, and we'll provide them with these glasses. And then we realized almost immediately it didn't matter where they were from. They could be from the most remote little village growing rice. You give them a pair of glasses that's not in style. They had no desire to wear it. And here we thought this would be so wonderful. So we quickly switched over to current models. And we've had some great donors and companies that have come in and picked up the slack there and given us these. But giving glasses away has been a real fun treat for us, because we're able to, when we go out and do a screening of 500, sure, we'll find our 10% that need surgeries, but the 50% that showed up that just need glasses, at least they go home and they're thrilled because now they're seeing clearly.
And the biggest expense in glasses is the frame. We can provide lenses for $1, $1.50, $2, a lens already, the proper prescription. So providing the frames is more than half the battle, and it's been interesting. The interesting thing is, this is a case that he just mentioned, a case where we saw a need. When we planned, well, how do we meet the need, and how do we do this, and we work it out and take off all the rough edges. But much of what we've done has just happened, and it wasn't planned out at all. And I look back at some of the things that have transpired over the last 25 years or so, and I think, man, those doors just seem to open for us. We got started doing this work actually many, many years ago when I was just getting ready to go into practice. And I got a call from the CARE organization, CARE Medico. I had 4 children. We were just out of school, out of training, out of the service, all the things that I had to do, ready to go into practice, and we didn't have any money. And this call came out of the blue, and they said, Dr. Jackson, would you be willing to go to Algeria for 6 months and sort of be the liaison and sort of run a medical program that CARE is doing in that country which is just recently coming out of its civil war. The country was ravaged and damaged, and we have this program. And they explained it to me, and it sounded interesting, and I said, well, sounds neat, but this isn't the time, because we have so many things. I have a house for practice. I'm trying to get started. And I went out to tell my wife about this call, and I apologized that we couldn't take it and was not the right moment. And she said, and she was 5 months pregnant with him, and she said, we'll always be sorry. And it struck me that we would always be sorry. So we took it, and we went, and that was our first overseas experience. I took a couple of my kids with me. Douglas was born in Algeria. This young man is an Algerian. Mm-hmm. He was born over there. And I think of my wife and what she did and what she was willing to do, because she felt some kind of prompting that this is what we should do. We had a good experience. This was a good program. It was helping the local doctors develop a brand new hospital after every other hospital had been destroyed in the Civil War. And all the French doctors had left the country. And it was great needs. And for 6 months, I witnessed a good program. Well, over the next number of years, we went a variety of places and volunteered, and some were better than others. And then we went to the Philippines, as I was a mission president. Well, I didn't go over there to start a medical program. I went over there because that was an assignment I had. I went over to fill the assignment for 3 years in the Philippines. But I'd been there about 2 days, and a man came to me and said, would you be willing to serve on our hospital board? And the hospital turned out to be the finest, without question, the finest hospital in the country. Still is. St. Luke's Medical Center, an Episcopal hospital. I ended up saying yes, and I served on their board for about 5 years, as a matter of fact. And then we saw these children with problems in our own congregation that needed help. And I sent a couple of them. Nobody was doing anything because no one knew what to do. Well, I did, because I'd worked overseas and seen these kind of problem with crossed eyes and cleft lips. So it was a second nature to say, well, we'll take care of this. And somehow I got a hold of the right doctors, who then came to me and said, you don't have to pay us anything. Anything you send to us, we'll operate for free. And then the hospital that had asked me to be on their board said, well, why don't we just give you 6 free operations a month? And I said to the people that I was working with, I said, look for cleft lips, crossed eyes, and club feet. They're easy to see, they're easy to diagnose. We don't need a lot of fancy equipment or x-rays to see what the problem is, and we know how to deal with it. And one operation, and they're fixed for life. And that's how we got started. It wasn't because we sat and planned anything. No, it just happened. And that's sort of neat, and makes us a little different maybe than many organizations who have a strategy. We had no strategy. We didn't have a fundraising program planned out or even considered when we began. Now, over the years, I've turned the running, the daily, day-to-day business has been turned over to other people. Fortunately, because obviously we got to a point where it could no longer be a mom and pop production. And I give credit for the things that are going on today to other people who do plan and do make, but still have room for inspiration or opportunities that just appear all of a sudden.
And there's plenty of them. You're always amazed how often you go somewhere and an opportunity does arise. Or a problem arises and a solution appears, How do we do this? And next thing you know, there's a solution.
And we've had some very interesting experiences where solutions or the right person has just popped up at the right moment. Really amazing. Really touching. You walk away and you say, wow, wow. Fate, karma. It's been fun, hasn't it?
It has been fun.